One day she had called a few different people, including those she didn't know that well. She had gathered phone numbers from social media profiles and followed people around so that she could create seemingly coincidental encounters with them. Her goal was to smear Shana's name and dismantle her life because she was jealous of Shana's personality and accomplishments. The she in question was Chellise, the wife of Shana's ex-husband, Mark. She called an aunt of Shana's who she had met at a family get-together that was mainly for the kids. Shortly after hello, she started crying on the phone, telling her that Shana was a terrible person who had yelled at her out of the blue on many occasions. She went on to say that Shana called her a bad mom who buys junk food for her kids all the time. Chellise was a master manipulator who used her tears to manipulate others and make them feel sorry for her. She always played the victim and never wanted to own up to her actions when they affected others negatively. Whenever she caused an issue and the situation started to feel uncomfortable due to her lies, she would cry. Chellise was the wife of Shana's ex-husband Mark, and deep down she never felt quite like she added up to Shana. After getting off the phone with multiple people, Chellise felt pleased with herself. It was a fleeting moment, like most things in Chellise's life. Everything that Chellise did on a quote-unquote professional level was not achieved by her own merit but rather handed down to her. Any job or other opportunity she had was simply given to her because one of her relatives knew someone high up in the company. It was never because she was good at it or earned it. How is one supposed to sharpen their skills or improve in life if they aren't putting any work into anything? In addition to all of that, she always wanted to find a reason to get in Shana's face to rub in the fact that she was with Mark. It typically happened during pick-up and drop-offs of the kids. It was always so delusional of Chellise because Shana was fine with getting the divorce and never gave any indication that she wanted Mark back. She had moved on from Mark years ago and had been peacefully living her life and succeeding in her goals. The only thing they shared was a child. They could have gotten along better if Mark hadn't been so bitter after the divorce. Instead, he wanted to pretend like Shana was so difficult to get along with. He also wanted to make her look like she was a terrible mother and terrible person overall, even though he would smile in her face and pretend that there was no animosity. A few days later, the late afternoon sun cast long shadows across Sophia's immaculate kitchen, but she didn't notice. Her focus was entirely on her good friend Shana. Shana's hands, which were usually so animated when she spoke, clenched tightly around a chipped coffee mug. Her eyes, normally sparkling with mischievous light, were dull and clouded with pain. Sophia reached across the table, her hand gently covering Shana's. "Talk to me, Sean," she said, her voice soft but firm. "What has she done now?" Shana let out a long, shuddering breath, the sound a mixture of frustration and despair. "It's not what she's done," she whispered, her voice hoarse. "It's what she's doing. She's turning everyone against me, Sophia. My own friends, my family, they're all starting to believe her lies. I'm not even sure how she is able to do it. I was at my favorite aunt's house yesterday and she started acting cold out of the blue." She whispered something to one of her friends, then her friend teared up and seemed to shy away from me. Sophia showed care and concern for her friend. The whole situation reminded her of the time she was dating a guy who ended up being a narcissist. He treated her terribly, then after the breakup he hopped into another relationship, then tried to smear Sophia's name so that no one would want to date her. He put so much effort into it and had gotten so many people involved. People that Sophia didn't even know were coming against her for no reason. All based on lies that came from her ex's dirty mouth. "She won't win, evil never wins," Sophia said, her voice filled with a steely determination that Shana hadn't heard in a long time. She stood up and began to pace the kitchen, her mind already working. "All of this truly makes me curious about how on earth she is able to spend so much time gossiping about people she barely knows," Sophia said. Sophia decided to do a little research. The first step was to gather information. Sophia, a freelance journalist with a knack for uncovering hidden truths, began to dig into Chellise's online presence. She spent hours poring over public records, social media profiles, and old news articles, searching for anything that could reveal Chellise's carefully constructed facade. Meanwhile, Shana, with Sophia's encouragement, began to reach out to some of the people who had been swayed by Chellise's lies. It was an awkward process, but with each conversation, she began to see a glimmer of hope. Some of her friends were willing to listen, to hear her side of the story, and to question the things that Chellise had told them. The turning point came when Sophia discovered a series of short posts written by Chellise. In them, Chellise boasted about her ability to manipulate people, to turn them against each other for her own amusement. It was the smoking gun they needed, the undeniable proof of Chellise's malicious intent. She had also created posts complaining about her husband's ex-wife, using hashtags like #BabyMamaDrama. All lies just to make Shana look bad and to seek attention. With fresh evidence in hand, Sophia and Shana set out to expose Chellise's deception. Shana started a post on the Scroll, an app for connecting, posting updates, and sharing photos or links, and circulated it among their friends and family. In the message, she openly confronted Chellise about her manipulative actions. After revealing the truth, Shana felt relieved and satisfied. After reading the post, some people were shocked about the entire situation. Some thought Shana was covering something up since Chellise had lied about her and she was explaining herself, and some knew right away that Chellise was a big evil lying bully. After seeing the posts, Sophia agreed to meet up with Chellise as somewhat of a mediator, to discuss what all of the drama with Shana was about and how to move forward. Shana declined the meetup because though she felt a little better, she was disgusted with Chellise. The meeting took place at a bustling cafe downtown, sunlight filtering through the windows as Sophia sat across from Chellise, her expression composed but wary. Chellise, always eager to present herself as blameless, launched into a monologue about misunderstandings and miscommunications, painting herself as the victim of Shana's supposed coldness. The conversation was cordial on the surface, but it was draining listening to Chellise play the victim, continuing to say negative things about Shana. Then came the infamous tears along with Chellise saying that she is always trying to be helpful and doesn't understand why Shana doesn't like her. Sophia was done at that point. "I can't do this anymore, take care," she said, then walked out of the cafe. Later, Shana and Sophia sat on a park bench, comforted that progress had been made. Though some issues lingered, they took comfort and trusted that the truth would eventually come to light.